North Korea's been in the news a lot recently, but what do we really know about North Korea? Like, why are there two Koreas? And why is everybody who's ever ruled North Korea being called Kim? Well, starting in 1905, here's our explanation for how North Korea ended up the way it did.
Korea was occupied in 1905 by Japan. At the end of the Second World War, the Soviet Union took the North and the Allied forces took the South. In 1950, the South declared independence and the North invaded the South. After 3 years of superpower-backed war, they signed an armistice, but the war has never officially ended. And they put a demilitarized zone down the middle on the 38th parallel. The North, backed by China and the Soviets, had installed this guy, Kim Il-sung, as a leader. There are pictures, statues and monuments to him everywhere. They created a Stalinist cult of personality around him to build on the low respect levels he had. This cult didn't have to be true, like saying he bravely fought the Japanese in the war. Nope, he sat it out in China. Kim created a type of nationalism called Juche. It's the idea that North Koreans are their own masters and don't rely on anybody else. The ideology is a bit racist, xenophobic and hates the South and the US. He created a society where opposition is almost impossible. There's no landowning class, no independent unions, intellectuals are loyalists, and any dissident is crushed with brutal force or sent to labor camps. Before he died, Kim Il-sung started creating a cult around his son and successor, Kim Jong-il, and the crazy stories went into overdrive. Kim Jong-il became a kind of demigod who was born in a log cabin on a sacred mountain. His birth turned winter into spring and was heralded by a swallow and a passing comet. Some of our favourite Kim stories: he was the world's best golfer, did not defecate, and only ate rice in uniform length. He was also a massive film fan and imported them from all over, but his people never knew that, and Kim Jong-il's the one who really developed North Korean propaganda. He also developed nuclear capability with a test in 2006, and the regular, empty threats of violence began to look very serious. And Kim Jong-il threw around a lot of threats, partly to try and stop further sanctions coming into place, because sanctions make North Korean people suffer. His control was so strong that even when millions of people were dying in a famine in the 1990s, there was no uprising against him, partly because it didn't affect the people who really matter, the military. Kim Jong-il died in 2011. State television played plenty of videos of people crying hysterically at the loss of the dear leader. Which brings us to Kim Jong-un. Unlike his dad, there wasn't a great effort to create a cult around him, so he's been working hard to make sure people know he's just as tough and great as Papa and Granddad. He's been carrying out nuclear tests, repositioning missiles, threatening the South, creating ridiculous videos of killing the US, and everything the Kims did before him. They've just been more regular than they used to be. Maybe that's because in the past, Korea always had the backing of China, but now they've become a bit of an embarrassment. The Chinese don't back them so publicly anymore, and public opinion over there seems to have become so low that Kim Jong-un has become known as Fatty Kim III. So maybe, just maybe, the North's just not as big a threat as they want us to believe, or as the media tell you they could be.
Thanks for watching. Hit like if you liked it. Most importantly, hit subscribe. And if you're interested in North Korea, we've done some other great stuff. Like, could North Korea hit the UK with a missile? That's there. And what is North Korean propaganda really like? That's at the bottom. We'll see you again next time.